What is up, my friends? I am so glad that you have decided to watch this video of a Basswood crankbait. I thought it might be fun instead of just having the sound that's on the video for me to do a little voiceover here, and it would be kind of like we were watching this together. So grab a snack and sit back and watch as I carve what looks like a toilet handle right now. But it's not going to be a toilet handle. It is a crankbait. It looks like that, but that really does look like a toilet handle. Can't help it. Right there, I'm saying something about how this wood is thick and I can make two lures out of this one whenever I cut it out. I like that big frowny face on them sometimes, but this one didn't end up with that big of a frown. What snack did you guys grab to watch this? I have some beef sticks from an Amish place. Does this give y'all anxiety whenever we are doing the fast bandsaw? I so do not want to cut myself on that thing. But you have to get close to it to do this work. So it could happen someday. And I will show it to you if I'm videoing. See how that's really thick and I can get two baits out of it? I like putting my finger against the wood like that and drawing a straight line. It's so much fun. All right, we're going to draw out two of these babies in really fast motion. Should have edited some of this. I really would have loved to have been quicker than 20 minutes on this video. I'm sorry it's kind of long, but I'm the worst editor because I enjoy stuff. I hope everybody's doing good. See, whenever I have to talk about other stuff, it means I should have edited more. Just thinking COVID. Everybody making it okay? I don't know why I'm waiting for your response. There we go. Two lures cut out. Now, back to the table. We're going to do a little carving. I bought this wood on Amazon, and you know how it is sometimes on Amazon, things are smaller than they appear. This definitely was. This little box of wood was a little more expensive than usual, but the wood was a lot higher quality and it's pretty soft. I think that I'm cheating you a little bit by not letting you hear the noise that that makes because some people really like it. Y'all ever watch those soap carving videos? ASMR, it makes you relax by watching people cut soap and hearing the noises. They'll scrunch up paper and stuff. It's really weird. But some people are really into it. But there we go, knocking off all the sharp edges, trying to get this baby rounded. Sandpaper does a lot better than I can do. Let's put it in the vise. I'm gonna take a bite of the beef stick. Tell me if you guys can hear me. It's a honey beef stick from the Amish place. I wonder if any Amish people are ever gonna see this video. Not sure if it's Amish or Mennonite where I go for this. But I was gonna say something about how it seems like I get a feeling that they think they're a better Christian than I am when I go in there. It may just be something that's happening inside of me, but feels like it a little bit. And they very well may be. It's so hard to get that in the vise and tight enough without squashing it, which I did squash this one a little bit. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it somewhere in the video, but I have to sand a lot to get my little squash place out of this. There's a better way to put that, but we're getting some shape. A lot of sandpaper. My lungs are filling up with sawdust with every lure that I make. Oh, there was a belly. That was my belly. My shirts. My wife got me a bunch of new t-shirts, but I've ruined most of them with paint, sawdust. Could you hear that, Bat? The old put the sandpaper over your finger trick to make it rounded. Pretty sure I invented that. No, I didn't invent that. We're getting there. Edit, John. We could have cut some of this out. But you really need to appreciate how long the sanding goes. I did edit out a lot of sanding. It's just that you sand for 6 months, and then you see a little place that you wish you would have sanded some more. Really frustrating. You could sand forever. You may notice on my table where I practice painting the Golly G's logo for a lure that I made my buddy Joey. Joey, if you're listening, shout out. What's up, my man? Do you say shout out or do you just give the shout out? Boomer alert, number one. I use this yellow pencil kind of as an homage to Marling Baits, this guy that carves baits. He kind of taught me some things about this, not personally, but on YouTube. The old drawing the face on there, and then you cut on that line and cut up to the line. This isn't going to make a huge difference in the end because the epoxy I use on these is pretty thick, but you will be able to see a little bit of a gill there. Sometimes people paint them, but I'm not that great. That guy I was talking about, Marling Baits, he can really use a stencil and get in there and paint it really well, but I just kind of have a little bit of shape. Go around the mouth the same way. You will be able to kind of see this lure's lip when it's done. Right here, I'm trying to figure out where this lip is going to go. Is that called a lip? A bill? A water catchy thing? It's the hardest thing. Well, it may not be the hardest, but it's the biggest difference maker. You got to get that baby right. And I cut it on the bandsaw, you'll see in a minute. And man, it is difficult to get square and the right angle. The cool thing is you can heat it up with a heat gun. It's like a super powered hair dryer that I have. And you can move it. It becomes a little soft and you can, pardon me. Don't know if you can hear me sniffle with headphones, but I did. Edit, John. We didn't need to say, what are you doing even? All right, here we go. I'm going to try to make this cut. I'm too short to see it anyway. I'm on my tippy toes looking around the camera, trying to figure out where this cut's going, hoping to convey the stress of this moment to you. Here we go. Hold your breath. And I make a bad cut. Miss the line. It's pretty lousy. The next cut is terrible. And I make a mess of the whole thing. That's the problem. You can work on this for a decade, and then it kind of looks like a shark right there, doesn't it? It is all for nothing if you mess it up right there. Van's Hardware. Oh, I shouldn't tell you this. Okay, I'm going to tell you. My man Van at Van's Hardware, he has these little pieces of plexiglass that they're what he cuts off. It's kind of trash, and sometimes he lets me get them cheap or even for nothing if I sweet talk him. And actually, I made him a lure. You can see it when you're checking out at Van's. Look up to the right. It's above the window. He liked it. Nicest guy in the world. There's the lip fitting in tightly. Grammar matters. I'm almost done with my beef stick if it's bothering you. I hope you're almost done with your Cheez-Its. Is that what you said you were having? All right, let's find the places for the hooks. Drill out some places there. I'm also going to put some weight in this. That look close to my finger, but don't even worry. Fingers are chubbier on video than they are in real life. That's why I never was a doctor right there. Get that weight in there. Then we'll put a little baking soda, super glue to cover the hole. Edit. Oh, there it was. Baking soda, super glue. Turns hard in a flash. Now we have to make our hook holders. Do that by putting wire in some vice grips and twisting it with this patented tool that I made. If you twist, and it makes it like a champ. Make 3 of those, 2 for hooks and 1 for the line tie. Pardon me. If I could sniff one good time, I think I would be okay. So hold your ears for just 1 second. Great now. Little glue in that hole. Should fit tightly. And this does, even though I think it goes in pretty fast. Yup. But you would be amazed how tight that gets. I cannot pull it out. A couple more that we probably could have edited. But we figured, what else are you going to do? Watch Netflix? Mandalorian? I never have seen a single episode. We do not have Disney Plus. But I'm working on it. I'm wearing my wife down. So now I cover the whole lure in super glue. This thin super glue. Just put it everywhere. It kind of water seals it a little bit. Gets everything set. It keeps that bill in really well. Keeps the hook holders in really well. Super glue's an awesome thing. Then I sanded a little bit. I put a mask on right before this because just get a little loopy if you just read this stuff 24/7. Now, what am I doing? I have no idea. Oh, drilling out eye holes. Getting some little places there to put some eyes later on. It is so hard for me to get the eyes straight. Every one of them looks like they need some type of laser surgery. Cover up the stuff there so I don't get paint all over it. All right, this is airbrush paint, and airbrush paint is supposed to be the consistency of milk. It is so hard to remember what milk's consistency is. I have this stuff that you put in there with it. It's not water, it's something else that makes it thinner. Does that look like milk? A little thicker than milk, isn't it? And if you get it too thick, it will not go through there. That it can be so frustrating. I have this orange paint that just will not go through that thing for anything. But the white works pretty well. So there I'm trying to get all the little squiggles out of it and get it to spray smooth. You can see I even put a little spot on it there. But this is our base coat. Start out with white everywhere. There we go. Speed it up, John. Make sure you cover it all over. And the cool thing about airbrush paint, it dries as soon as you put it on there pretty much. It's, the air is blowing it and it's drying it as you paint it. The other stinky thing about airbrush is you have to clean it between every color and every coat that you put on. There's got to be a better way. I haven't watched a video on airbrushing, but man, it takes me forever to clean that thing, put a new color in. But you got to get it all super clean. So before I do any more coats, I put this. This is a net I got at Dollar Tree for $1, obviously, and I cut the net off of the thing, and we used it for Easter or something. Thanks, Bethel, I guess. But it was busted. I didn't just cut up a good one, and put it over the lure like this, and then I'm gonna paint it. And when I take the net off, it's gonna still be white there where the net was, and it'll look like scales, hopefully. All right, we're gonna come with black first. I'm not sure if I should start with black, but that's what I'm doing here. Put a few little lines on there first, so it's a little fishy looking. That one's terrible. It is so touchy, and you can see it so well on that white coming out of there. Get a few fishy lines on there. I was so worried first time I did this because there's no way to get it perfect. It just always looks crazy. But by the time you get it all done, it does look a little fishy. I hope you'll see. So there was the black. Let's get a little yellow toward the bottom of this fish. I don't know if this is a bass. I think it is a bass, probably like a baby bass is what these things think they're eating. What is that word for when you eat your own people? It's not a carnivore. Are you yelling it at me right now? It's not an omnivore. Cannibal. I knew it was a C. Fish are cannibals. Usually, like the less paint you use, the better it looks on airbrushing. But I'm not really a less is more kind of guy. So I'm trying to impress you there about getting the color wheel out. I have no idea what that thing does, but it said blue and green make pretty green. So I'm adding a little blue, trying to get it the right color. It's kind of a little bit darker green, but then you see when I spray it, it's not super dark. I didn't like it neon green. So on top of that yellow, I think that looks pretty okay. We'll get him there on top a little bit. I like it. That airbrush just makes anybody look like they know what they're doing, and I do not have a clue. All right, here we go. Big unveiling. Taking the net off. See if it has any scales. Did it work? What's a hold up? Here we go, everybody. Scales, kind of, maybe a little bit, except where I messed up in places. I'm okay with that. Now I'm thinking, I think I'll put a little red down here on his belly. Not sure if fish have that, but yeah, let's do it. I think that did a little something for it. A little red under there. We'll take that. Don't do too much, John. Ooh, picking eyes. These eyes are sticky, but they do not stick. I mean, they'll sit there for just a second, but you have to glue them in. This is the medium super glue, the kind that's a little thicker. And I don't want to, I just want to barely get it on the outside of the eye because it gets everywhere and makes it look terrible if you don't. And then I squirt it with that stuff and it sets it immediately. Ooh, here's the John Hancock getting put on there. Now comes epoxy. So today I got this little scale like drug dealers have where you measure out stuff in grams. And now I can mix them exactly. But whenever I was doing this, I just had to squeeze one and then squeeze the other and hope I got it exactly right. And then you have to mix it like crazy because one's a hardener and one's resin or something. And you got to get it really mixed and exactly right, or it never sets or looks cloudy or something. But this did pretty, pardon me, got the hiccups now. This did pretty well. Uh, Taking the old tape off. That resin is the boss. Makes it look glassy, you know. Even if you mess up, it looks cool. I did drop this. I don't think it's in the video. And I got one stinking like little crumb in it, and it made me mad. All right, so for the back of this thing, I wanted to put like a trailer hook with a skirt on it. So my dad killed a deer a couple of weeks ago, and I got the tail off of the deer, and I treated it with salt. It doesn't stink or anything. I promise. I'll show it to you. And you can take a hook and I mix in a little bit of shiny stuff in there with it, but the rest of that is just deer tail. And it's kind of like tying a fly. You just go around it like crazy and keep putting glue on it and then give it a little haircut and you got a tail for your lure. I'm putting it on there to make sure everything stays in place. I do something here in a second. Somehow, right here, I poke myself with that ice pick, and that's my blood. And this is our time together. Thanks for watching.